Hi, today we are talking about PN junction diode. In last class we see what is a diode, how it works, and now we see the PN junction diode. This PN junction diode we are using basically all electronic goods. These applications are like rectifiers and clippers, clampers and so on. So now what is a PN junction? Here I am taking one semiconductor material. For example, one semiconductor material, one half is doped with p-type impurity and other half is doped with n-type impurity. Then one junction is formed. This junction is p-n junction. It means not formed by merging of two separate p and n-type materials. Okay, remember this always. Not merging two separate p and n-type materials. Then one junction formed. This is not p-n junction. The p-n junction is formed by adding carefully controlled amount of donor and acceptor impurities. Okay, remember this. Carefully control amount of donor and acceptor impurities. One junction is formed, that is called a PN junction diode. Here we have holes, means I am taking, this is the holes. Okay, these are called holes. Okay, normally holes which are majority carriers in p type of material, and these are called holes, and these are negative acceptor ions. Okay, this one, these are called negative acceptor ions. Normally holes which are majority charge carriers in p type of material are uniformly distributed to the volume of that materials, and the same in case of n-type material. In p-type material we have holes, in n-type material we have electrons. Electrons. So these are called electrons, and these are called positive donor ions. In starting only we discuss about the junction. Carefully controlled amount of donor and acceptor impurities is called a PN junction. Okay, so here p-type region holes are uniformly distributed, and in n-type region electrons are uniformly distributed. Each region is electrically neutral because each of them carries same amount of positive and negative charges. On a form of a PN junction, some of holes from p-type tend to diffuse across the boundary into n-type. See here I am combining the p-type and n-type material. I am taking a junction for understanding you. These are p-type, holes, and this is n-type, donor ions and free electrons. This is a p-type and this is a n-type. Here one junction is formed, means some of holes from p-type tend to diffuse across the boundary into n-type. So these holes are trying to move towards the n-type, and the same, this n-type moves towards the p-type. This is called as density gradient. This process is known as diffusion. In last class we see already what is a diffusion. You know na, diffusion means the concentration of holes high on p side compared to n side. And the same manner, concentration of electrons is higher in n side compared to p side. So see here, these electrons are moving towards the p side and these holes are moving towards the n side. So this region is called as junction. Okay, this is called junction. And what is the thickness of this junction is, this depletion region is 10 power minus 6 m. This means 1 micron. The depletion region width is 1 micron in a PN diode. This is the basic of PN junction diode. What is the PN junction and how it forms? Okay. Now we will see how many types of biases are there in a junction. Two biases are occur in a PN junction. What are they? One is a forward bias, other is reverse bias. Now we see what is a forward bias and how it is applied, how it is work. Same diagram in a PN junction. So this is a P type and here N type. One junction is formed. Electrons are moved here P type and holes are moved towards the N type. This is one junction is formed. Here we see already this depletion region is occurred here and this is called width of region. Now see, in forward bias we give some external supply to the PN diode. So I am giving some external battery to the diode. This is positive and this is negative. Now the positive terminal of battery connected to the P side and negative terminal of the battery connected to the N side of PN junction diode. This bias applied is known as forward bias. Here we are applying some potential here and internally these electrons or holes are moved towards one to other. Here one voltage is appeared, right? Here one voltage is appeared. This is the external voltage we are giving. Here internally, internal potential barrier, what we are calling, this is the potential barrier voltage. So this barrier, this width have some voltage, that is called the potential barrier voltage. The applied potential with external battery acts in opposite to internal potential barrier and it disturbs the equilibrium. Under the forward bias condition, the applied positive potential repels the holes in p-type region. Repels, and in negative terminal, negative means here negative terminal of the battery, right? Here these electrons, what it is doing in n-type region, repels the electrons. So holes moves towards the junction and electrons moves towards the junction. When this is the forward bias condition. But when applied potential is more than the internal barrier potential, the depletion region and internal barrier potential, these both are disappear in forward bias condition. In forward bias, some VI characteristics are there. On x-axis we are taking forward voltage in volts. In y-axis we are taking forward current, that is in amps. This is a 0. Here two conditions are applicable. Forward voltage is less than potential barrier voltage. In this condition, forward current is approximately 0. So approximately 0. So some condition. When forward voltage is greater than the potential barrier voltage, then this potential barrier voltage is disappear. At the same time, this width of depletion region is disappear. Then IF is increase. In this condition, see here, VF is less than V0 means up to some condition it is approximately 0. When it is increasing, then forward current is increase. Okay, forward current is increase. So this point is called cut-in voltage. So this is called, when it is increased, this is the cut-in voltage. 0.3 volt for germanium and 0.7 for silicon diode. This is about the forward bias. Positive terminal is applied to the P-type and negative terminal is applied to the N-type. One junction is formed here. So in this junction, some potential barrier voltage will appear. Here two conditions are there. One is applied voltage is less than the potential barrier voltage. The forward current is approximately 0. When applied voltage is greater than the potential barrier voltage, then forward current is increase, means it is started in a forward bias condition. When the condition is occurred, the forward voltage is increase the potential barrier voltage. The time potential barrier voltage and the width of depletion region, these both are disappear. Then diode work like a condition is forward bias. This is about the forward bias. Next we will see the reverse bias. Reverse, second one, okay. Reverse bias. Here on the same diagram I am taking P-type, N-type. Same we are giving supply. Okay, here see, negative terminal of the battery is connected to the P-type and positive terminal of the battery connected to the N-type. This bias applied is known as reverse bias. And the same here, what happened, holes. In a P-type we have holes and N-type we have electrons. When holes from majority carriers and from P side move towards the negative terminal of the battery, and the same electrons, here majority charge carriers electrons, these are moves towards the positive terminal of the battery. Hence this width of the depletion region is increased. Now you see now, compared to forward bias, this width of the depletion region is increased. Then what happened? The potential barrier and external voltage, here potential barrier means, sorry I don't draw potential barrier, okay, potential barrier voltage V0. This potential barrier voltage and the applied voltage, the both are in same direction, V and V0. So the resultant, what happened? This potential barrier is increased, which prevents the flow of majority charge carriers in both directions. It can't flow in both directions. So the width is proportional to potential barrier voltage. How much width it have here, and the same to proportional to potential barrier voltage. The resultant is current is not flow for in this reverse bias. Theoretically, no current is flow from PN junction diode, but in practical case, a very small amount of current will flow as like microamps. It will flow under the reverse bias. In the same, the minority carriers electrons in P region, and here N region some minority carriers of holes. These movement, small movement, is called as reverse current. Reverse current means reverse saturation current. This is denoted by I0. The magnitude of reverse saturation current is mainly depends upon the junction temperature. This is the reverse current is depends upon the junction temperature. In junction reverse bias condition, the VI characteristics are this is the forward current. We know here we are taking reverse current and reverse voltage, reverse bias voltage and reverse bias current. In the starting condition as a 0, and after some reverse current is formed that is constant called I0. This is the VI characteristics of reverse bias. Again I am saying negative terminal of the battery connected to the P side and positive terminal of the battery connected to the P side. Positive terminal of the battery connected to the N side, negative terminal of the battery connected to the P side. This junction is formed. This bias is known as reverse bias. Here holes from majority charge carriers moves towards the negative terminal and electrons moves towards the positive terminal. Hence depletion region, which is depleted of charge carriers, these are increased. See here how much depletion region is, that much of potential barrier voltage is occurred. So the width of depletion region is proportional to the potential barrier voltage. In the same way, here majority charge carriers moving towards rise to the small reverse current. This reverse current is called as reverse saturation current, and this reverse saturation current is mainly depends upon the junction temperature. These are the VI characteristics of a reverse bias I0. This is about reverse bias. Up to now we see what is a forward bias, what is a reverse bias, how it is works. Now we see here what terms we are using in a PN junction. Terms used in PN junction. 5 terms we are using. The first one is breakdown voltage. The first term is breakdown voltage. What is a breakdown voltage? Here we are applying reverse bias condition. In a reverse bias condition, a large number of free electrons are formed. A large number of free electrons are formed, which is commonly called as avalanche of free electrons in a case of reverse bias. This leads to the breakdown of junction, leading to a very large reverse current. See, we are here already seen a reverse current. I reverse bias, V reverse bias 0. So here what happened? Avalanche of free electrons. This leads to the junction is breakdown from reverse current, basing of reverse current. So some reverse voltage. Where is the reverse voltage occurred at what current? It is called the breakdown voltage. Means reverse voltage at which junction breakdown occurs. This is called breakdown voltage. This is called breakdown voltage. Up to now, voltage is constant. At some basing of reverse current, at some point, the reverse voltage at which junction breakdown with sudden rise in reverse current. This is known as breakdown voltage. And the next term we are using is knee voltage. Knee voltage means here in a forward bias. Forward bias, V forward, I forward. In a forward bias, a PN junction, a very little current flows until forward voltage exceeds the junction barrier potential. That's the condition we remember now. Vf is greater than V0. Up to here the current is approximately less than, means current is approximately 0, and when it will occur some condition. So here this is called cut-in voltage. I said na last time, this cut-in voltage is called as knee voltage. Third one we are using here maximum forward current. Maximum forward current. Highest instant forward current that PN junction can conduct without damage the junction. So current is flowed towards the junction without damaging the current. It is the highest current. Okay, remember this, highest current flows towards the junction without damaging the junction. In forward current exceeds the rating, then junction will destroy. And fourth one we are using other one, peak inverse voltage. So in peak inverse voltage what happens? Same like a maximum forward current. This is the forward current in a junction. This is the inverse voltage. Inverse voltage is applied to the junction without damage the junction. They both are same. When it exceeds the rating, junction destroyed and due to the overheating. Both forward current, max forward current, and this peak inverse voltage, they both are depends upon the heat. If heat is increased, then the junction is destroyed here. So the both terms are mainly under the rating condition. Okay, and the fifth term we are using is maximum power rating. It is a maximum power that can be dissipated at the junction. In a PN junction, how much power is dissipated at the junction is called as maximum power rating. So now 5 terms we are using, 5 terms, those are breakdown voltage, knee voltage, maximum forward current, and peak inverse voltage, maximum power rating. These are the terms used in a PN junction. This is about the PN junction diode. Up to now we see the what is the PN junction, how it works, how many biases are there and how it works, and what terms we are using in a PN junction diode. In the next we will see the applications of PN junction. Applications of PN junction. If you understand this topic, please subscribe my channel. This is so encouraged to me for doing further videos, and press bell icon for notifications. Thank you.